Well, welcome to Cougar Chronicle. Oh, and we are back this
with
January.
Our first guest of the new year.
One of my favorite guests.
Well, because we're talking about the little ones,
Absolutely.
and I know you love that. And I cannot say enough about the quality of people that we have in positions of leadership, and in our classrooms, in our athletic fields, in our schools, and this is just another person in the big thing. And I will tell you personally, I have joked about, I was always a secondary guy.
Right.
That was my career. But from the beginning of my educational career, I've always believed in the importance of early intervention.
Without a doubt.
And part of that is being the father of two kids that have mental health and with a child with addiction issues. Not to know if there's things that we could have done sooner that would have made a difference, but you always want to make sure that those opportunities are there. And when we talk about the ability to learn, because accessing education is a very big and important piece. And so our next guest, which is Nikki Robertson, who's so excited to be here, glad to have her, fills multiple roles. She's an associate director within our special ed department, our student services department, but also, and why she's here today, under duress, is to talk about our pre-K program, our early childhood special ed program, and really just kind of highlight, as you remember, and some of our guests may remember, we just had an expansion within the last year of our pre-K school at Bradford. We've added the trailers there. We have I still call it the James House, which I get the look there.
It's bad, I know.
It's the numbers involved, but we have 2 sites. She's responsible for staffing and development and growth of those things. So when we talk, first of all, thank you so much for being here.
We're glad you're here today.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Anytime. So let's talk pre-K. So pre-K is twofold. We have the early childhood special ed part, and then we have the pre-K program.
Yes.
So where do you want to start? Where's the easiest place for you to begin, you think?
So I'm happy to start talking about the special education component that we provide for students, which is federally mandated.
Okay.
Starting at age 3, any child that's identified as having some type of a developmental disability or need, the school district picks up services for students in that capacity. And so in our program, we have an early childhood program, which is a regular ed program by nature, in which then we provide services to children receiving special education services. So our teachers are dual certified. They carry specialization in early childhood as well as early childhood special education. So really, we're trying to create a nice early learning environment for kids to build on those developmental skills such as communication, motor, and to really help develop in that environment where they can do it alongside children who do not experience delays.
And Nick, you made an important point. It starts at age 3.
Yeah. Yes.
So if my little one, and I say, oh my goodness, is the language where it needs to be, I can call the district and say, help.
Yeah, so we do screen a lot of children in the district as well. We'll have families from our local providers if they're in childcare, or pediatricians that have some questions or wonderings. Our staff is always available to talk about what are those developmental milestones for communication as well as motor. Sometimes we have questions around social emotional development, so how kids are, navigating those situations with other children their same age, play skills, self-help. So we work on toilet training, all things early childhood that help kids kind of move along and grow in those areas.
I mean, it's incredible the amount of work that they do.
It's amazing.
But let's take a step back from it. Why is that important? Why is it important? I know it's federally mandated, but we joke about this. Why am I spending money on a 3-year-old? As a taxpayer, why is that valuable and important?
So for that early education piece, there's a lot of research that shows as you start to foster and help develop those skills in young children, it really then helps them launch their career as they get older as a learner, right? So you think about some of those early developmental milestones for speaking. Kids are little sponges at those ages, and so they find creative ways. We get a lot of children that come in that have some interesting ways to help communicate and get their needs met. Sometimes it's functional, sometimes it's not. And so working on those skills when they're really young and kind of helping build, it really lays that foundation for the things that they need to be able to do as they grow whether it be at home, in their communities, and then of course at school as well. So, working on closing those developmental gaps when they're younger really helps them. A lot of kids that we provide services and supports to either come out of special education because those gaps have closed and they just go back on a regular traditional learning trajectory, or we can start laying that foundation so that is less of a thing to take on as they get older, and transition on to kindergarten and beyond.
And Laura, there's been a ton of research and we've seen different numbers, that for every dollar that gets invested in early childhood,
right,
in the pre-K program, it's a crazy number. $15 to $18 is the return on the investment.
Isn't that amazing?
And one is how do we understand that? But again, it's that ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure.
Right.
Is let's get these things identified sooner, because when we look at brain development, we look at morphology and just how kids really kind of learn and grow, you have this malleability of the human brain at those early ages, that if we can get things going sooner, then we've got a chance to maybe make the trajectory. I can tell you from a personal standpoint, my granddaughter, who's in Bradford as a second grader, had an IEP for language in pre-K, and through their interventions in place, was able to close that gap.
It's amazing.
And so,
it really is.
I live those things every day.
And what's wonderful, and the little secret is that as you're doing this, you're also introducing the curriculum to them.
Yes.
So when they hit kindergarten, they hit the ground running.
Yeah. We spend
great.
a lot of time in early childhood just helping kids. We call it following the group plan, right? Everybody has their own plan. What does it mean to follow the group plan and be part of a collective group of students who are trying to problem solve and navigate a classroom environment? Our preschool is all play-based learning, so we're really looking at opportunities for literacy and numeracy development within the environment, things that they're already experiencing, and then expanding on that. Our goal really is to help foster that love for learning, that curiosity to then be able to go on and continue to want to learn new things and experience new things.
Well, and funny enough, curiosity is one of our 3 tenets for our portrait of a learner.
Love that.
With conscientious,
that's right. Okay.
Conscientious, curious, and caring, as we look at those things. So those pieces in, and you also think about the things that a lot of times kids don't get access to, like how to ride on a school bus or how to stand in line. The number
Those
of
are big
kids,
skills.
Well, and you know this as a kindergarten teacher,
yeah.
the amount of time that gets spent trying to get those processes in place. If we can have kids exposed to those things, of saying please and thank you, for self-advocacy for toileting needs, or I'm hungry, or whatever the case is. I mean, there's so much more than just the academic piece. I mean, the overall health and just wonderful development of that child, as soon as we can get in. I mean, and it just provides those great places. And when the partnership that you get to build with families, is valuable.
Yes. Yeah, we do enjoy getting to know our families, the young ones that come in, and sometimes it's nice we get the siblings, so we'll have some families and it's their second or third child that we've had come through our program, or we're the introduction to the school district, which can be really good opportunity, especially for families of children with disabilities, to start that connection early, and build that relationship as they start their journey with us as a school district.
And what's really cool about Kearsarge? We've made it easier. Now we have the 2 locations. It was always New London.
Yes.
Right. We were jokingly referring to James
because you may not want
you're coming from
Warner
oh
or from
gosh.
Sutton or Bradford. I mean, it's quite the haul.
Yes.
Now we have that second location.
Yep.
Yes, down in Bradford. Yeah, that was a lot of work went into kind of putting that expansion in, and that was one thing we heard pretty loud and clear from the community, that it was difficult for families in the southern tier of our district to access our preschool programming in the northern section.
Because understand too that we are only providing transportation to the IEP students.
Yes.
So if you're in the general ed, we're not providing that. And so which is why having that second location becomes very important, and the expansion. And it really is the Bradford playground. This is the big kid in me. When I was interviewing and we were getting around and toured the Bradford place, I noticed the giant pirate ship for the other kids, and the exact same, the smaller, the mini pirate ship behind the fence for those kids as well. And it's just a great space, and the teachers do such a great job as we look at things like that. Now, this episode's in February, so right now we're in the middle of signing families up for the new year.
Yes.
Are we seeing are we having to go and struggle to try to fill these classrooms?
No.
What's going on there? How are we staffing?
So it's very funny. To prevent having a significant wait list, because there are some families, our local community centers will start a wait list early. And so for families who think about this much earlier than others, it can make it a little harder for families to get into a program. So we start accepting applications January 1st for the following school year.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
our thing went live January 1st, and within the first 24 hours, we had already had 24 applications. I believe as of today, we're up to 45 for the 2 locations. So a huge, huge interest in those early childhood services in our community.
And how do we, and so for a family that's moving in, or they're not really sure what's going on, they didn't realize that we even offered this until now, how do they get in touch with the pre-K program or you? What's the best way?
So there, on our website, we have, there's a live application, so it's a request for enrollment that can be filled out with all of the necessary information that we need to collect in order to consider enrollment for school. So it's all right on our website. They can also call us at either of the 2 preschool locations, and again, all that information is on the website.
So via voice, via email,
Yep.
just get a hold of,
Yes.
of you. It's wonderful.
And they're ready to help, and they're excited for kids. I mean, it's just watching them do, I just have so much fun watching the little kids do. They're walking up and down the hallways, you see them in lines, and just the
enthusiasm.
Oh my gosh, they're so excited to be wherever they're at.
Well, and Nikki, this is why I was so excited you were coming in today, because I reaped the benefits of your efforts as a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
And the children would come in and be happy and well-adjusted and anxious and excited about learning.
Yes.
That's amazing. Yes.
Very important
Yep.
work. So thanks so much for being here.
Appreciate all
that.
you do. Yes,
Any last words? Anything you want to leave with people, or you just kind of like, let's end the segment and move on? She's ready to roll. Well,
so
thanks
check
so
the
website, for everything you
and
do.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate all you do, and it's easy, right? Via email, just make a call and
it's all, and that's the accessibility. You really don't have to look hard to find the information. Go to the website. All the information's there, and if you have problems, then make a phone call and we'll walk you through it. I know that's been the case.
Yes.
Well, Nikki, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Coming up, we're talking facilities.
Facilities, talking with Brett Perret, our facilities director,
Yes.
who you've met before and did
Yes.
an interview with before.
Does great work.
Very important person, and really, I mean, is the backbone, that unsung hero.
Oh,
that
yeah,
keeps things up and
absolutely.
rolling, and his team. So we'll get a chance to talk kind of facility pieces after the fact of the deliberative session. Kind of
Right,
some of the
right.
questions that may have been asked there. What does that
Yes.
mean? In-depth facility study that's going on, and just really kind of asking him some questions. And again, as we always do, we pull the curtain back on the wonderful things that happen every day here in Kearsarge.
Absolutely. And we're glad you're joining us for Cougar Chronicle. All that coming up, so stay with us.
See you soon. All right.